Alright, welcome back to a brand new video of the Target Individual program, Target Individual Experience. So they had the three big appearing perps on the bus targeting me. You know how they try to, sometimes they try to do like, oh, well, you know, there's a perp in the perp. You know, I was reading an article, interesting article. They try to go cut across. Go ahead, bro. You want to cut across? Go ahead, man. Gotta show you guys how they try to do that cross thing. You know, cut across you. And they're wearing all black. Right? Using the color black. Alright? So yeah. Alright, so this is again another all black. I might need to be wearing all black sometime. I gotta, you know, I don't really wear black. Yeah, not because they're talking to me with that color, because really and truly, you know, summertime is too damn hot to be wearing all black. You know, in the wintertime it's fine. You know, because excuse me, because black attract heat in the summertime, so you can be wearing all black. Okay, oh, you looking over here, bro? But look, we got he got the flag on his door handle. Look, that's a Grenadian flag on the door handle. Look at that. Oh, now you're gonna move out. You're gonna drive out the way, right? Yeah. He gonna move because he saw me. He was like, "Yeah, I'm recording you, buddy. See what y'all doing." Again, some of those type of subliminal messages. You know. Anyhow. Although I was saying, yeah, so I was saying about my targeting, how it began. You know, I never really thought anything of it until my brother started, you know, talking about his targeting. His targeting began in the mid-90s. So, you know, he was saying to me that, yeah, they were targeting you, you just didn't know it. But he said, I knew it because they were targeting me in a more concentrated form. You know, and he was talking about, you know, how, you know, when he was living with his girlfriend at the time, and he felt like she stuck him with a needle, right? So she drugged him. You know what I'm saying? And that same thing happened to me. All right, I talk about that. Same thing happened to me in the police station. You know, they drugged me when I was sleeping. And so when I woke up, again, I talk about that because, you know, my son was almost a year. He wasn't a year yet. Okay? He might have turned a year. And, you know, she sent him out of the country for a whole month. You know, at the time, you know, we had broken up. And again, she's the one that ended the relationship. And then trying to, because again, listening to other people, right? So, you know, she realized that, you know, she made a, you know, mistake, what have you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, I didn't want you back, what have you. But anyhow, she started using my son as a tool to emotionally manipulate. Wow, look at that. Right? So start using my son as a tool to emotionally manipulate, right? Because again, you know, my son, even though we were both working at the time, but my son spent most of the time with me, you know. You know, because like I said, I've always been the one, particularly with her and Pam, you know, when the kids were younger, they spent most of the time with me. Right, so even when I was working, and then when I got laid off, you know, so the kids was, you know, it was Ethan actually. Ethan was born in 2009, and so he spent most of the time with me. So then with Bryce, when Bryce was younger, you know, he spent most of his time with me, right? Except for, you know, what I'm saying, like I'm talking about when he was just born. When he was a baby, the first 6 months, because you know she was off for like 3 months or have you, but. You know, during that time when he was up until like what? Up till I would say the time before she sent him away, you know. You know, he spent most of the time with me as a baby. Alright, so I was, you know, take him over the weekend, bring him to Brooklyn with me. Visit the family, you know, let her go do her own thing. You know, because I figure, you know, hey, you know, you were pregnant for 9 months. You know, we get, we're in the house together. Sometimes, you kind of like, I understand how there can be tension, because again, how our relationship was, right? So it wasn't like we were in a relationship. We knew each other, we dated before, but she was always an issue. And, then, we kind of kept in contact, what have you. And, shit happens, right? But anyhow, yeah, she said I'm away for a month. And, like totally had me really distraught, right? Because again, it's like when you with your child for so long, and particularly when they're with you most of the time, and a person just ripped them away from you, rip your child from you for like an entire month, it affects your psychology. Plus, she was avoiding my calls. She wouldn't tell me where he is, And again, she was being coached into doing those things. She was being coached, okay? And I knew she was a liar, but having a newborn, the shit that she was doing, like I said, I knew she was sleeping with other men. When I picked up from work one Saturday, and she got in the car, and she smelled like she was just having sex. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, and I looked at her, and I was like, okay, yeah. And then, like I said, one night she came home, and face all bruised up, what have you. She told me that she took a cab, and the cab didn't go in the direction that she wanted the cab driver to go to, so he assaulted her. I was like, that don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? I said, that don't make no sense. And so when it was time for me to go to court with her, right, she wanted to fight me. She wanted to argue with me. No, you're not going. I want you to go, what have you. I said, you're not going. I literally took the day off of work to go with her, and she literally wanted to fight me. Okay, so right then I knew something was up. Right there and there. So I was like, maybe being immature. I was like, all right, took a play that game. So I ended up messing with my ex while we were together. But what I realized with narcissistic female is that they are the worst. They are at times worse than men, right? They're very meticulous. They're very conniving. They're very manipulative, liars, and they'll look at you straight in your face and lie to you, right? So now, when she found out, now, it was like a whole drama, and so we broke up after. But she was like, "Well, you got to choose." I said, "Listen, I choose to be with you." But I guess she could listen to her mama and them, or her friends and them, and she was like, "You know what? We kind of broke up for that." You know what I'm saying? I take responsibility for what I did. Always do. But these women will never take responsibility for what they've done. And like I said, as black men, we are held responsible regardless of whether we did it or not. And black women know how to use the court system, to use law enforcement against black men. Okay? And they will lie. And I tell my son all the time, you got to protect yourself. I'm particularly my oldest son, I said, you got to protect yourself from these women, because they will manipulate you. They come with trauma. They don't want to seek help. They don't want to get help. They think that you're going to fix their issues, and you cannot fix their issue. They have to fix their issue. All right? And I said, if you meet a woman who's like your mother, I said, you need to run. Run as far away as you can. Okay? Run as far away as you can. There's a reason why Biv DeVoe made that song, That Girl Is Poison. Don't trust a big butt and a smile. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why. Like I said, when I look back at these things, I realize that how we have been, particularly we as black men, we have been conditioned, right? We have been conditioned into, that's, particularly with, you see black women, because, I was never really focused on the woman's butt, right? Just like how you see women focus on certain things. We used to be like that in the 90s, not in the 80s. I mean, in the 80s I was a teenager, right? So high school, I dated women, and that never even crossed my mind. It wasn't until like the mid 90s that we started like checking out girls with the big butts, right? But again, it just showed you how we were being conditioned, how our culture was being shaped, particularly the negative aspect of our culture, not by us, but by white supremacists, right? Who are in positions of power, the CIA, the military, and so forth, right? The police and so forth. So we never really even contemplate about that. You know what I'm saying? But still, I was never into that because I've dated girls that were skinny, that were short, that was slim, had no butt, had no boobs, had boobs. You know what I'm saying? Didn't really, I never had a type. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, in my early 20s, I was engaged, wasn't going to get married, and then that didn't work out. And then, I was in the rich for what, 6 years, 7 years? Right? No, sorry, about 5 years, 5 to 6 years, something like that. You know what I'm saying? We were dating. After 2 years, we got engaged. And then maybe 4 or 5 years, because we got within like a year and a half of our engagement, we broke up. For the silliest reason, really, silliest reason. We were too young, immature. Me being raised by a single mother. She was raised with her mother and her stepfather. But she was, she had her own issues too. So we all had our issues. We just didn't know how to handle our issues, how to deal with our issues, right? So me being with my mom, not really knowing anything about financial responsibility, about women, who women are, what they're like, what is the nature and all this stuff, so, what I'm saying? But anyway, so after we broke up, I started dating Bryce's mother. We met at this job. I had got a new job. I left the other job I was having because they were trying to play me, not pay me overtime. And then when I asked for a raise, they're like, well, we have no money to give you a raise. And I told them, well, listen, I manage the whole business at night, right? You never even pay me no night differential. So because I said that, they hired a manager to manage me at night, and he didn't last because he was constantly on the phone while I was doing all the work. Me and there was a Hispanic guy there, Dominican Republic, right? So again, me not knowing and not having the knowledge to understand that what they were doing was against the law. They were not paying me overtime, right? And then I was working at night in a type of business they would give you night differential, right? I mean, it's like so I wasn't I was. Like I didn't know. While the other people was working there, they had another black guy there. They had mostly Jewish. It was Jewish owned. So they took advantage. Again, I didn't even know that, but it is what it is. Like I say, it's important that, particularly, you have black children being raised in households run by single mothers for generation after generation. You're going to have toxic male as they become adults, right? You're gonna have black males who don't know what white supremacy is really all about, because the women are not teaching them that. Their mothers are not teaching them that, because their mothers are busy at the church or partying. If it's not the church, it's partying. So you're either gonna have two types of mother, right? For the majority of us, church, your mother liked to party. Like Pam's mother, she would say that she was younger, her mother liked to party all the time, leaving with family members and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So as our parents were in their own bubble, my mother would go to church all the damn time, right? Sometimes even during the week, she'd drag us to church, because that's all she knew. Like I said, I don't fault her for it, I don't blame her for it. That's part of the conditioning that we were under and still under. You know what I'm saying? Because like for example, like I said, I was an excellent artist. Lost that ability because, again, my mother did. Actually, I didn't really lose that ability, but no, I didn't. Right? It's been so long. But I was good enough. And one of my teachers was my geography teacher was like, you should go to the High School of Visual Arts. And I asked my mother to apply to it, and she was like, no, that's too far, and such and such. And my mother was very protective. And again, that sometimes can very much hamper a male child. You know what I'm saying? And so again, not being able to learn certain things because there was no man in the house, no father in the house. Had older brothers, but they didn't grow up with any fathers around as much. You know what I'm saying? So you can't learn from that. So like I said, I don't blame. You can't blame your parents, particularly if you're black, because you have to understand that they are raised a certain way too. So you really can't blame them. Some parents were raised differently as children, and they can they're in a better situation where they can teach their kids the truth about that. That's not all of us, right? And this is what you must understand. Right, so what's wrong with this dude here? He's like keep standing up here, looking at me. But now look, he's running. Where you running, bro? You were just standing up here looking at me. You trying to catch the bus? That's what you doing? You trying to catch the bus? Right? I tell you, these perps. And they do it for a reason. You know, like you're running and running, running. Running from what? Running from being over by Pam and, you know, being emotionally manipulated by her and the New York Police Department and whoever is, you know, using silent sound to manipulate my mind? No. You know what I'm saying? No way. So anyhow, you know, as I was saying. So yeah, you know, yeah, you didn't even know. And that's like I tell Pam, I said, you know, that's why I try to be a different father. You know, always be in my kid's life. You know, regardless of what I was going through when I was younger, particularly with my younger son. You know, I used to take him to work with me. We used to, you know, if I had to work on the weekend, he would come to work with me while she go out, whatever, such. I'll stay home with him while she go out and hang out and stuff like that. You know, so again, you know, what she was doing, what she was doing. But like I said, but the minute that I realized thing was going on, and I did the same thing what she did, oh, forget it. That was the end of it. You know what I'm saying? But that's a narcissistic female, a narcissistic male. You know, you got to understand that there are female narcissists and there are male narcissists. And to me, have to end up meeting two female narcissists is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, to be honest with you, when I got out of my relationship with my fiance, I also became a narcissist. I was just dating for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And then I started dating Bryce's mother, but that didn't work out because I wasn't really trying to, you know, after I've been in a relationship for that long, you know, I was like, you know, and again, even in that relationship with my fiance, there was a time I was working and I went to visit her, and she knew I was coming to visit her, right? So I got off and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go see her. And I rang her bell. She opened the door. She was all dressed up. And the funny thing is too, I was like, when I got to her building, I saw a Porsche parked up, right? And the guy was waiting. He was waiting. He didn't come out of the car. He was waiting. And so when she opened the door and I saw that she was all dressed up and she looked so surprised, I put two and two together. And I said, listen, yeah, you can go. Have a good time. All right, I'm done. And she called them and like, listen, I'm not going to have you. And so you know, like I said, these women, you know, again, they like to talk about men cheat all the time, but they cheat too. They cheat more than us, but they are better at keeping the secret. So for men, I just want you to understand, when they want to play that tell you that, oh, men cheat, what have you, they cheat the most. This is why, because they get bored easy in their relationship, and particularly today. Women cheat more today than any other time because why? They're being conditioned. They're being conditioned to where they can't have one moment of peace and quiet. You know, they like to talk about, oh, I want my peace. No, that's not the peace that they want. What they want is a man to take care of them financially. Can't tell them anything, right? But they can tell the man what to buy, what to give them, and that's it. And whenever they want to have sex, that's when they want to have sex. So they've been conditioned with the mindset of a man. You know, so that's why, again, you look at certain people who are being used to shape the mindset of black women, you know, the churches, these pastors. Then you have people like Steve Harvey, who write a book, Think Like a Man. Well, now, guess what? They are thinking like a man, right? But in the most negative way. Like thinking that, you know, if a man can sleep with 100 women, I can be 100 men. If a man can cheat, I can cheat. But they fail to understand the biology and the psychological effect, the differences of when men cheat and women cheat, right? I always say, you know, if a man cheat in his marriage, you know what I'm saying? And which again, a lot of wives won't even forgive him. But it's if a man cheat in a marriage, right? If the man cheat, and let's say he gets somebody else, he get that woman pregnant he cheated with, the wife doesn't have to take care of that child, right? But he still does. But if she cheats, gets pregnant, okay, and he doesn't know about it, he's taking care of somebody else's child, thinking that it's his, right? And if he does, and if he found out that's not his child, he still got to take care of that child because guess what? They're married, right? They're married. And if his name is on the birth certificate, forget it. You know what I'm saying? So men, you know, this society is built on catering to women in order to manipulate them because they knew and they know what they were going to do. How they were going to use feminism to put women, you know, in a certain position within the society, but how they were going to condition their mind to become loyal to the powers that be, right? And particularly in the black community, is to condition black women to think that they're better than black men, because white women are in positions, they're CEOs, they're managers, they're chefs, they talk about entrepreneur. White women are the most successful female entrepreneurs in America, not black women. Don't let them fool you, okay? They'll say, well, black women they have the most businesses. They start the most business in terms of, I can go down to the courthouse and get a business license, right? But those that actually start business, their business don't last. No, after 2-3 years, their business is gone. And that's the vast majority. Only a small percentage of them have longevity. But look at that compared to white women, right? And white women, the majority of white women who start business, their business lasts up to 10 years. Okay? And they employ more than one person, right? They have a business that employ 5 or more people. The black women, their businesses employ, the majority employ themselves. That's it. They're working for themselves. Okay? So they knew what they were doing. And they had to condition black women to think that they're better, because white women in those positions don't think that they're better than white men. Right? You never see on social media white women who in those positions will say, I don't need a man. Right? You know what I'm saying? And then they have this idea of that the man should pay 100%. How does the man pay? Most marriages in America, most relationships in America, couples split the bill. Right? Some of them split it evenly, others split it based on who makes the most. So that might be like a 70-30 or 60-40. You know what I'm saying? But black women on social media, it's my belief that they're being paid to engage in such, ridiculous rhetoric, because again, a lot of them, will do a lot for money, right? Because again, in the position they're poor, they're not making much of their job, right? After they done take out $50,000, $100,000 loans for school to get a bachelor's degree or a PhD in a field in which won't allow them to make the money to pay off their loans within 10 years or within 5 years, right? So they have been duped. I've been trying to, particularly with Pam, I'm trying to, listen, you got to start raising your level of consciousness. You have to start, learning the truth and accepting the truth. It can't just be about how you feel. That's going to lead you astray. That's only going to get you so far. You got to be able to think. And whenever I say to her, you need to think, they will use the sirens. Right? It's like they don't want black women to think. They don't want black men to think. It's just belief. That's like I said, when I on Facebook and I'm scrolling through some of the stories, and there's the picture of these black women dressed in white with white headbands, head wraps. The car horn was like, yeah, thumbs up, right? But the minute I went to the other story and it had a black African queen, right? And you could tell she's a black African queen because she's wearing the crown with the unification symbol on it, right? With the snake and serpent, right? The unification, and also the serpent means wisdom, also resurrection, right? Because the snake, or anew, snake shedding its skin to become anew, right? So again, African spirituality, we look at these things. So when they tell you the Bible about the serpent, or whatever, no, that what they understand African spirituality and what it meant. It means that the African woman was the wise people, right? The African woman was the one who will raise up the king or the queen. She will educate them. She will, and again, they have to come through her line, right? So you go look at the Medu Neter and you see whenever there's a king on the throne receiving the Ankh, right, the key of life, right, or the symbol of life and wisdom, right? It is the woman. It is Shashet who is giving them that wisdom. Okay. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the next video.